With the Nationals having a day off yesterday, it's time to look at one of their top prospects, third baseman Brady House. When will he make his debut? It's probably sooner than what you think.
You are Locked On Nationals, your daily Washington Nationals podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And thank you all for making Locked On Nationals your first listen every single day, as we are free and available wherever you get your podcasts. And of course, I am your host, Ryan Clary. You can catch me over on Twitter at RyanClary11 and as well as our show page at LO_Nationals. For all your latest Nationals news and notes, make sure to check us out over on Twitter. And of course, look up Locked On Nationals wherever you get your podcasts, whether it's on Apple or Spotify, or even on YouTube for the video version. You can check us out. Again, just search up Locked On Nationals, and we are part of the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every day. Later on in the show today, we have got a series preview for you. We've got an NL Central clash with the St. Louis Cardinals. I hate the Cardinals. I'll just tell you that right now. I'll kind of get into that later on in today's program, but we'll preview that one later on in the show because Eric Fetty, the former Washington National, a 2019 world champ, makes a start tonight against your Washington Nationals. So we'll discuss that game later on in the second segment. It is a Friday, so you know what that means. It is a Nats prospect stock report Friday, and who's been up and who has been down. We'll have that for you in the second segment. And also a former Nationals first round pick within the last 8 years has retired from baseball and has since committed to play football, Division I football. I think it's a crazy story. We'll discuss that also later on in the program today. But when will Brady House make his debut? I'm smelling a debut in the next month or so. I'll tell you why, but today's episode is brought to you by Amazon Fire TV Stick 4K. Turn any TV into your Xbox. No console needed. Head to Amazon.com/Fire TV Locked On to learn more. We get started today thinking about Brady House. For those who are not aware, Brady House is your top prospect in the national system behind Travis Sikora and Harleen Suzana. And Brady House at this point has played himself out of the top 100 for many publications out there. But in my mind, this guy is still a very elite prospect that has a ton of skills that could make him an all-star in Major League Baseball. I think Brady House, the 21-year-old who's turning 22 in June, will be making his debut for the Nationals at some point in the next month or two. We are that close to seeing your third baseman of the future up in DC. The left side of the infield and the left side of the field in general is going to look amazing. CJ Abrams over at shortstop, James Wood in left field, and then Brady House over at third base. What will Brady House provide to this lineup? Well, in today's game, what wins you? What wins you a game? It's obviously pitching, but if you look around the league, it's the long ball. It's the home run ability. It's the ability to put the ball over the fence, and that's really what it is. Brady House does that at a very elite rate. Last year, as a 21-year-old, and really a 20-year-old also for the first portion of the season, he hit 19 home runs between AA and also in AAA, where he ended up somewhere around August last year. In AA at Harrisburg, he was killing the baseball, had a 423 slug, and that's when we all kind of realized that the power is not just something that everyone talks about. He backs it up with power. And so far this season, he has done the same exact thing, except in AAA. Having a 481 slug on the young season so far, 5 home runs. He's got a couple extra base hits in there also. He's only got 41 strikeouts so far, but 12 walks in this pretty young season. I'll take that any day of the week for Brady House. But what is he going to provide for the Washington Nationals? You guys probably see the trend at this point around baseball. Dylan Cruz, Jackson Holiday, all these young prospects that are really struggling as soon as they get up into the bigs. Wyatt Langford also in that equation here. He is going to take some time, and it will happen over time. Over the next year or two, that is when things will start to click for him. Brady House is a great talent. Don't listen to all these MLB prospect shows that say, well, he's got this red flag. He strikes out maybe a little bit too much. Maybe his power is not really just there for the long term. I think those are not good arguments. I have seen Brady House up close and personal, and this is my analytic to back this up. One thing that I really look for with a baseball player when I'm watching them take BP, I'm not looking at their mechanics. I'm not looking at where they hit the baseball. I'm looking for the sound of the bat. That's what I want to hear. If you are up close and personal with James Wood and you get to see him take BP, or if you're just at Nationals Park taking in a game, you probably notice something. The sound off the bat, as soon as he makes hard contact, it's different. It echoes throughout the ballpark. You can hear it from section 238 up in the right field terrace. You all know that sound. Brady House has that kind of power. He has that ability to, number one, smoke the ball wherever he wants. He's got opposite field power. He's got pull side power. He can hit it up the middle. I think Brady House, for this Nationals team, he's going to come up within the next month with just the way that he has been playing, by the way, which is really well in Rochester. And he's going to make an impact. I'm not saying he's going to have some mega successful season here. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think you've seen it with James Wood. He was a star last year, but still, the numbers, they got better as the season gone on, but it took a little bit of a while there for it to click for him. At least he clicked a little bit quicker than a lot of these younger prospects. But Brady House, he's in a different conversation, in my opinion. He's not the star that James Wood will be, but he is going to be your solid, everyday player that you can know that you can go out there and trust him in any situation hitting-wise. He can hit for average. He's going to hit for power. He plays really well over at third base. And you're going to have the left side of your infield with CJ Abrams, who again is on an all-star pace this season, paired up with a young 21, 22-year-old third baseman who's really good, who's got a big arm over at the hot corner, and he's really good defensively. And we even mentioned the fact that this guy's got power. The Washington Nationals are in a good spot with Brady House. And on today's show, I wanted to kind of highlight that. You have your day off yesterday. Now the boys, they get to go back today, play a 3-game series against this Cardinals team. But I just wanted to remind you guys, because we haven't really talked too much about the prospects so far this season outside of Friday's show, and we have the Nats prospect stock report that's going to be coming up in just a few minutes here. But Brady House has not been forgotten. The numbers that he is putting up, nearly batting 300 on the season, getting on base at a 350 clip, slugging at a 480 clip, an 828 OPS on the young year. Brady House is not someone that should be forgotten in this equation here. I think he gets the call up sometime this June. So in about a month and a half from now, it is May 9th at this point, I could see him getting called up around June 15th. Maybe that's too early. But with the way that he has been hitting, the way that the Nationals need a little bit more juice at this point. You know who brings a lot of juice? Your top prospect, your top hitting prospect, Brady House, who does have power, who you can put in the middle of this lineup, and also just make this team overall better. Because as we have seen, we are not that bad. We are a couple blown saves away, a couple bullpen blow-ups away from being 500 and being in the wild card race. This offense and this national starting rotation, they're contending. It's the bullpen that has gotten away from them. So if you add Brady House in that equation, and with this offense, I think things can only get better. There will be some growing pains, But I'm excited for Brady House to finally make his debut, and I think it happens in the next month and a half or so. Thank you all for making Locked On Nationals your first listen every single day, as we are free and available wherever you get your podcast. Next, let's get into a Nats prospect stock report. Who has been up and who has been down? I'll tell you all about that after we tell you about our friends over at Trade Coffee. Let's be real. Coffee is not just a drink. It's a ritual, a lifeline, the thing that gets you from half asleep to fully functioning. And if it's that essential, why settle for anything less than amazing? That's where Trade Coffee comes in. Trade is the #1 coffee destination in the U.S., delivering fresh, incredible coffee from over 50 of the country's top roasters. Whether you're a cold brew fan or a pour over purist, they've got a roast you'll love. I actually have True Coffee right now. They have sent over one that has graham cracker and chocolate in there. They know I love s'mores, so let me just take a nice sip of this. It's so good. It's what keeps me awake because, again, it's kind of early. It's a gloomy day, but with True Coffee, I finally feel awake. I want you guys to feel the same. And, of course, also, I took the trade quiz, and it only took a minute, and the first bag they sent me was spot on because I love a little sweet stuff, and they gave me exactly that. So right now, Trade is exclusively offering our customers 50% off your 1-month trial at drinktrade.com/lockedonmlb. That's TRADE.com/lockedonmlb for 50% off your 1-month trial. Drinktrade.com/lockedonmlb. Now, let me tell you guys about some of our very good friends over at Amazon Fire TV. Did you know your Fire TV is also an Xbox? Turn any TV into your gaming and entertainment hub with Fire TV Stick 4K devices. No console required. Just grab your paired controller, subscribe, or sign in to Xbox Game Pass Ultimate with EA Play included, and you're ready to play. Dive into hundreds of premium titles from EA Sports College Football 25 to Call of Duty Black Ops 6 and about as early as you stream your favorite shows. It's gaming made simple, and it's all on your Fire TV. For all my gamers out there, you guys know that at some points in time, it's a little bit hard to bring your Xbox with you. Well, if you have an Amazon Fire TV and you're on the road, whether you're on vacation with your family or your friends, just bring your Amazon Fire TV, and it makes playing your Xbox that easy because we all know on a little bit of a guy's trip, maybe you want to play EA Sports College Football 25, and you can do that. And of course, head to Amazon.com/Fire TV Locked On to get started. An Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscription and compatible controller are required. Available on select devices, including Fire TV Stick 4K, Fire TV Stick 4K Max, and Fire TV Cube. Again, head to Amazon.com/Fire TV Locked On. Thank you all for making Locked On Nationals your first listen every single day, as we are free and available wherever you get your podcasts. Later on in the show today, I've got a story about a former Nats first-round pick within pretty recently who has retired from baseball, and he is headed to college football. We'll discuss that later on, and also have a preview of this Cardinals-Nats series. I hate the Cardinals. I'll tell you why later on. But we have now a prospect stock report, who's been up and who has been down. We start off with a stock up for Angel Feliz, 18-year-old shortstop who has been playing second base down in the Florida Coast League at this point. This is a name that we talked about last year a lot. The 17-year-old in the DSL was an all-star who flashed a ton of power, who flashed stolen base capabilities. He had 27 stolen base last year. He hit for some power down in the DSL. And now, through his first 4 games in rookie ball, I can't stop talking about this kid. It's only been 4 games in rookie ball. Let me just repeat that. But he's got 2 doubles. He's got a triple. And last year, from what I saw, this guy has the ability to hit for power. He's got the ability to hit for average. He's good over at shortstop. And actually, I saw him down in the backfields when I was down at West Palm Beach going up against Jake Irvin. He struck out in that at-bat. But the fact that the Nationals are putting an 18-year-old against a big leaguer like Jake Irvin tells me a lot about how they feel about him. Not everyone just gets at bats against those big leaguers, but they are high on him. And this guy, he is on my radar. He may not be in the top 10 prospects of the system just yet, but he will be by this end of the year. He is that good. He's got the ability to steal 30-plus bases. He's got the ability to hit 20 home runs. He's going to be a real 2020 threat down the road here. It's about if this Nationals team can develop him, because he's got the raw talent, but what can the Nationals do with it? That's going to be the big question, because he's only 18 years old, and he just turned 18 years old, by the way. Speaking of raw talent, former Nats first-round pick, Elijah Green. Unfortunately, a stock down for Elijah Green. It's his first year in High A Wilmington, so it is a step up for him. But over his last 10 games, 21 strikeouts and only one extra base hit. The story of Elijah Green is, it's unfortunate because when the Nationals first took him, I was super excited. The raw power, the ability to play center field and play at a very elite rate. The power, the speed, everything, it was a sexy pick. But I also knew in the back of my mind that this guy was very raw. And he was going to have to go to an organization that can really dig down and find the analytics and just make some tweaks in his swing. And that's just not what the Nationals do. It has not worked out for Elijah Green. I don't think that's Elijah Green's fault. I think the Nationals wanted to take a big swing in the draft thinking that they could fix him, and it just has not been fixed at this point. And it's unfortunate because, again, I think if Elijah Green ended up with, let's say, the Rays, an organization that is really good analytically, that can really get down to it and figure out what's best for each player, and they get the most out of each and every player. The Nationals just are not that. And so I feel for Elijah Green in a sense, because could not have been a nicer guy when I was down at West Palm Beach. Awesome person. But it just has not worked out. Batting sub 200, striking out in nearly half your at-bats at this point. This is a bad swing and a miss for the Washington Nationals. And unfortunately, it has not worked out for either parties at this point in time. Something that has worked out early on, Nationals catcher from this past year's draft, Caleb Lomavita. This is a thing. This guy has been really good so far. He was an invitee to big league camp this year. You didn't really see him too much in spring training, but I do think the Nationals are very high on him. In High A Wilmington so far this season, an 89 at-bats, he's batting .292, a .382 slug. He's got 5 extra base hits, one of them being a home run in just his first 89 at-bats. The hit tool, it's there. The power so far, it's checking out. And let me just remind you, that is a very tough place to hit. Everyone has always said that about the Nationals. It's hard to hit in Wilmington for whatever reason. I have not been there personally, but it is a very pitcher-friendly ballpark. That's why you'll see a lot of great pitching numbers coming out of Wilmington and not the best of hitting numbers. Only guys like James Wood and Brady House, those are the only 2 guys that I've seen really rake there in Wilmington. Caleb Lomavita is doing exactly that so far. I expect him to be a quick mover in the minors. The Nats are high on him. You really don't have that much catcher depth in this system. You do at kind of the lower levels, but in the upper levels, you have Drew Millis, who is a 4A player, in my opinion, at this point. You have Kinzer at this point. It's really not that special. So Caleb Lomavita, I expect him to be a quick mover throughout the Nats system, and hopefully, just hopefully, he pans out from the Nationals because he's got some power. He has the ability to be a good defensive catcher, and I think so far it's been working out, and it's been a good pick for the catcher out of California, the Nationals comp pick from last year. Stock down for former Nats top prospect, Jeremy De La Rosa. Do you remember hearing about him in 2022 when he was killing the baseball in Fredericksburg? He was really good, and everyone was excited for him. He was young. He was like 20 years old. It just has not been the same since. He has battled injuries, and so far in Double-A, he has a .583 OPS in 48 at-bats, He's batting sub 200, and he's 23 years old now. Unfortunately for him, it has not worked out. But that's not to say that it will not eventually work out. He still does have the potential. He's got the power, but he is off our radar at this point. When I was kind of looking at some box scores over the last few days, I saw his name there and I was like, well, let's see how he's doing. And unfortunately, not too hot. I texted some people down with the Senators also. Some of his mechanics are off at this point. They think he can fix it and he can kind of correct his wrongs at this point. But so far, the results have not been there. That's why he's getting a stock down for this stock report. Stock up, Bobby Barrels. We talked about him earlier on this week. Over his last 12 games, he is batting .442, a .628 slug. He had 2 big home runs. He had 2 doubles all in his last. And also, let me just say this. In his last 6 games, he's batting .565. This is the Robert Hassel that I expected. He was going to hit for average. He's going to put the ball in play. He has the ability to go extra bases. He has the ability to steal some bases. And he can also put the ball 450 feet dead center, which he did this past week. Robert Hassel, again, 23 years old, young in baseball terms. He can still make a difference on this Nationals team, and he can make a difference some point this season. Jacob Young, as soon as I talked about him, he has been on fire the last few games here. But still, Robert Hassel is very much so in the future of the Nationals. I would love to see Robert Hassel be called up at some point this season. Every time I feel like I check the Rochester Red Wings box score, he's got another hit or a couple extra base hits. He's got the ability. He's healthy again. And I think we're all starting to see the Robert Hassel that we all expected to see back in 2022. So the former first-round pick for the San Diego Padres who made his way to the Nationals, he's doing pretty damn well so far this season. So it's an interesting one to watch for sure. Next, let's preview the Cardinals and Nationals series. You have got Eric Fetty on the bump tonight. But before we jump into that, I want to tell you about a former first-round pick who's making his way to football. We'll discuss that after we tell you about some of our very good friends over at FanDuel. And of course, the NBA playoffs are in full swing, and every night delivers highlight-worthy performances, major momentum shifts, and can't miss moments. Whether it's a game-winning shot or a breakout player, there's never been a better time to get in on the action, and FanDuel makes it easy to stay in the game before tip-off and live. With player props, performance trends, and same-game parlays, fans have more ways than ever to play smart and win big. Which players are showing up the biggest moments, and how could tracking their trends help you build your next bet? Well, I can tell you this. I always track my trends with FanDuel, and in last night's game, I took the Timberwolves on the money line. I took the over for Anthony Edwards. I parlayed that, and a $200 bonus bets adds to the excitement. If your first bet hits, it sure does. So are you new to FanDuel? It's a perfect time to sign up and head to FanDuel.com and place your first $5 bet. If it wins, you'll get $200 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Thank you all for making Locked On Nationals your first listen every single day, as we are free and available wherever you get your podcasts. Former Nationals first-round pick Mason Denberg is now going to be playing football at the University of Central Florida. This was a first-round pick at a high school in, I believe, 2018. And unfortunately for him, he could not stay healthy for the Nationals. And when he was healthy, did not put up the best of numbers, unfortunately for him. So over the course of the last few seasons, he has bounced around from Fredericksburg all the way up to high A Wilmington, and that was really it. Last year, he saw himself make his way up to Wilmington, but still, it never clicked for him. He had a whip that was around 1.5 on the year last year and nearly 40 appearances. Not good enough. So, but even then, former first-round pick could not stay healthy, unfortunately, for the Nationals. he is now playing football at the University of Central Florida. That is incredible. I don't know what position he's playing. I believe he's going to be a punter. So that's going to be kind of cool. Never knew him as a punter, but kudos to him, man. Not easy to walk away. A high schooler coming into the big leagues, you're a first-round pick. You're told that you're going to be the best of the best. And, of course, doesn't always work out like that. So good to see Mason Denberg kind of stepping away from baseball, and maybe he's the next big punter for UCF. So I'll be watching those games and seeing if Mason Denberg can get back in on the action. Speaking of action, though, Eric Fetty tonight against the Washington Nationals. This is one of those examples, talking about Eric Fetty here, where you look at this player development department and you're like, what went wrong? Eric Fetty is not a world beater of a pitcher. He's not an all-star. But he was never as bad as what he was here at the Nats. He was never that bad. He goes overseas to Japan. He wins their MVP, signs with the White Sox last year, gets traded to the Cardinals, and he has had solid success so far. And this season, while he hasn't been like incredible and one of the best pitchers in baseball, like at portions he was last year, he's been respectable. He's got a 4.78 ERA on the season, but even then, if you look down at his numbers and kind of look from start to start, it's been a lot better than what it appears. He has 2 outings where he gave up 6+ runs, and outside of that, he's looked really good. It's a lot of 1 runs. He went 6 innings with no hits given up against the Pirates back in his 3rd start of the season. Also look at his start against the Astros, where he gave up 1 earned run in 6 innings pitched. Then also against the Braves, did really well again. So Eric Fetty, while the ERA might look high, it's just because he's been blown up 2 of his 7 starts so far this season. Fetty is a good pitcher, and this is a success story. So kudos to him. I'm happy for him. No ill will there. But there is some ill will for the St. Louis Cardinals. I just want to say real quick, if you're an everydayer, you probably have heard this story. 2012, Game 5. I was there with my dad. I'll never forget the Cardinals coming all the way back. I'll never forgive Pete Kozma, Daniel Descalzo, and what that stupid St. Louis Cardinals team did to myself. I hated the Cardinals. Ever since then, I have hated them for the rest of my life. In the section below, I'll never forget, there's a man dressed up as a Cardinal at Nationals Park cheering on the Cardinals, obviously. He actually eventually got ejected from that game, but that is why I hate the Cardinals. It's so stupid. It's petty. And we got our revenge in 2019, doing them dirty in the NLCS, nearly having a perfect game and a no-hitter against them in the same series, sweeping them, just absolutely dominating them. It was the best. I love that series. I hate the Cardinals. So there's that. But you got Mitchell Parker on the bump tonight for the Washington Nationals. And Mitchell Parker, he's had a rough go of it recently. I would like to see Mitchell Parker bounce back again tonight. This Cardinals team, they're coming in a little bit hot as of recent. They're finally above 500. There's not really many expectations for the Cardinals this year. But Mitchell Parker, this is going to be a prime opportunity for you to bounce back, my friend. Has not been the best stretch for you, but still, you can get things going tonight. And you've got Trevor Williams on the bump in tomorrow's game. And then Sunday, for your Washington Nationals, you've got your ace, Mackenzie Gore. It's going to be a must-watch weekend, and a very winnable series for the Washington Nationals, so hopefully they can get the job done. But until then, I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Have a good one. Go Nats.